Yo, it's your boy Dwitch back again with another video, and this is another day in my life of me documenting me trying to build my business up to $2 million for the year. In this video, we'll talk about new updates on how performance is looking after our new test change or our offer change. And second, we're going to talk a little bit about creatives. And honestly, this video is going to be kind of good for anybody that's maybe stuck at like not 3K, what the fuck? Stuck at like 30K a day and kind of trying to understand how to kind of scale up to six-figure months, because that's kind of where we're at right now. We were at 50K a month in January, but results fell down a bit. If you've been following the channel, you kind of know what happened. But in this video, I'll break down exactly how I'm going to take the shit from, being stuck, honestly, for the last 2 months, like around 30 to 40K a month, and how we're going to push this back to 6 figures a month. So, to start off, in terms of performance, as you guys know, last couple of months we've been kind of in a downhill with the brand, because we basically came to the conclusion that our price point was way too high. And I'm not gonna go crazy in depth into that, because that's gonna be like low-key like a 3-minute explanation. Just watch the last 2 videos that I posted and you'll understand kind of the gist of what's been going on. Essentially, yesterday, it's not enough data, obviously, like it's only one day, and also today as well looked a lot better. But again, I'm gonna just talk about yesterday. Yesterday was the first full day of the lower price point, and we saw some promising results. Honestly, we saw campaigns that were like literally shitting the bed starting to get traction. And it's just a good sign to see. Like, it wasn't the best margin yesterday, because again, it still needs to optimize over a 3 to even 7 day window. But it's looking like potentially we are going down the right path with performance. Now, obviously, it might be too soon to tell. It might have just been, a good day. But nevertheless, if things hold up the way that it's looking like, and conversion rates already went up. Conversion rates went up like 200%, I saw yesterday compared to the day before. The buying intent as well went up, so the add to cart rate went up, the initiate checkout went up, and that's just by, changing the price point offer, whatever you want to call it. That's just from that alone, we're able to increase our conversion rate and the buying intent on our, whole funnel. So if that holds, then we are going to be in a great spot to potentially be able to scale, because this segues into exactly what I'm looking to talk about. And it's essentially what kind of limits us or anybody from scaling past, 30K a month, or even being stuck at 50K a month and breaking past that barrier where you're struggling to even make, just to get to that 6-figure mark, the 6-figure mark with your store. So the biggest thing for that is really just creatives and unlocking a good creative system. Now, when it comes to creatives, you have to have a lot of diversity into your creatives. So some creatives should be, UGC style ad, and this is also dependent on the product that you're selling. For me specifically, I'm gonna talk only about myself for the first jewelry store, by the way. That's what I'm talking about. The ads that work the best are going to be like showcase videos of the product. Just so some of them might not even have text on the screen. Some of it have some text on the screen. Some of them might talk about the benefits. But for the most part, like most of the ads will be solution aware. Or I guess there's not really a funnel per se. I see solution aware, but in a way it might even be unaware. But I'll just say solution aware, because it talks directly only about the product and how this product, for the most part, is a solution for the for the prospect, because we have some angles that we're able to break that down pretty well. Some of them are problem aware, some of them as well are most aware. But you have to have a whole diversity of creatives inside your funnel. So that means you're testing again. You might test different creatives, you might test different angles. For us specifically right now, prior we were only testing this one angle, and we found a decent angle that seems like to be working this month, actually, with a higher price point. So I'm excited to see how it looks on the 7-day window with this lower price point. And this is a very, very evergreen offer. And this is a jewelry product. This is a very, very evergreen offer. And this is something that anybody that you can buy this at any time. I won't say too much about that. But if we can't crack that offer, it's going to be very easy to push to 6-figure months. But anyways, enough of that. Basically, back to what I was saying. You want to test different angles, different creative styles. You want to test everything that you want to test and identify essentially what works, to keep it short. That's what you want to do. You want to test every single type of creative you can too. can do. Us versus them, you know, you just see ads. If you're running a problem-solving product, maybe via sale, you want to test everything under the book and make sure you're doing your due diligence and test a high volume of it consistently. That's what you want to do, a high volume consistently, and just test. Once you do that, you're not done there, because once you identify something that works, the whole goal then is to basically make sure that you are going through a creative loop and making sure that you actually understand, you know, what is working and do more of what's working, because that's kind of what I had an issue with. And I've been realizing, like, the last couple of, honestly, this week really, that my creative loop system is kind of out of whack. When I identify a winning ad, I'm not necessarily focusing on it as much as I should be. The whole idea of you testing all this shit is to find a winning ad. And once you find a winning ad, that's when you dissect it and find different pieces of the ad that you can test out. So for example, if you have a winning ad, you might want to test out the music. You might want to test out a different hook in terms of text, or a different hook in terms of visuals. You know, you might want to look and be like, okay, what's the hook rate? The hook rate might be like 13%, but the shit's still printing. If you can get the hook rate, you know, to 20, 30%, you might see better performance. You just have to look at shit like that, be like, okay, this shit's winning. I did all I can do with this ad. Now I have a superior ad off the, basically an iteration of the winning ad. Now I found a better angle. Okay, let me fuck around and change the creator. That is, you know, a great way to as well change the whole ad. It's the same ad, same everything. You're just changing the creator up. Like, you can, there's so many ways, different iterations that you can, you know, do with this shit. And once you keep doing that, you're gonna find out, okay, you're finding new winners, you're finding new winners. And then after that, you're alongside that, you're testing different angles, you know, different mass desires, and then you're just building this army of winning ads, and slowly but surely just building up an ad account that has killer winning ads that are starting to get a bunch of engagement, that's getting a bunch of ad spend, and you have a system that's able to consistently pump out these creatives. A lot of this shit is as well going to take you, is also going to probably require you to have an editor, which is a massive unlock for me that I had this year. The editor absolutely gives you so much more bandwidth. It's not even the right word. So much, I guess, what is the word? So much space, so much of a clearer mind when you're thinking about, okay, bet, now I just have to come up with these concepts, submit it to the editor, and within a day I'll have the concepts. Before, I'd come up with the concepts, I'd have to edit it myself, and that shit would damn near take up my whole day, and like, you couldn't really think about other aspects of the business because you're so focused on these creatives, pumping them out, that it's just such a headache. So I recommend anyone that's, you know, starting to do, I'd say honestly, once you making profit for one, for two, probably like 50K a month, and you actually understand what's working into your ad account. And I'm not saying completely outsource this shit, make sure that you're still writing the current scripts, but you're just telling your editor how to edit it. And if you find a good editor, they'll know how to edit. All you have to do is plug and play, give them the raw footage, tell them how you want it, record a loom, tell them exactly what you want, and they'll edit that shit probably way better than you. And all you have to do, again, is focus on the creators, because that's the high leverage task that you should be doing as a business owner for now, until you have enough money to outsource to get a creative strategist. But you shouldn't be doing like low leverage tasks like, you know, customer service, editing videos. That's something that realistically anybody can do, but not anybody can script good ads. That's something that takes skill, and you as a business owner is the only one that necessarily knows what your business, you know, needs at the time, unless you obviously hire out, blah blah blah. But I say this to say, the game plan is pretty clear in my mind right now. The missing piece in the puzzle for the first store, I believe, again, we only have one day of data, so again, we might still be cooking on the offer side, but nevertheless, it's clear to me that the offer was out of whack. And again, if this offer holds, then all we need right now is just to pump out as many great creators as possible. And once we do that, again, we have a very good evergreen offer. I know I tell you guys this is a very giftable centric product, but because it's as well has a broad angle that I haven't been able to necessarily crack. If we're able to crack this again, this is a very good angle. And I looking want to be able to show you guys the store that I'm running. Like, it would make so much more sense of what I'm talking about. And I feel like it would just give you guys a lot more clarity as well as how I kind of go about it. But anyways, whatever. Yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at right now. We have a lot of different angles we can tap into, and I'm excited than ever to... What the fuck, bro? This nigga's doing the U-turn in the element. But anyways, but yeah, that's kind of what we're seeing right now. Again, performance isn't up to where we need it to be, but we are seeing noticeable enough improvements onto our funnel that's giving me the indication that hopefully this performance might stick, and hopefully we have stuff that we can scale up. So hopefully this made sense. I'm probably gonna break down one more time what this looks like. Okay, guys. So again, we're assuming your whole funnel is down packed and you're only missing the creatives to help you scale further. So let's say you're at 30K a month. You're at 30K a month. Okay, look at your winning ad, bring it to the drawing board and see how you can improve it. Look, is the hook rate lacking? Is the hold rate lacking? For the most part, sometimes just changing the hook might be a great way to refresh the creative. It might even perform a lot better. Maybe you might want to change the creator. Maybe you want to change the clips in the hook. Maybe you want to change a bunch of different things inside the video. And just continuously depict little things from every iteration that you do and make the ad a lot better on every single winning ad that you find. And from there on, you should be building a super ad. And from there on, again, you should be in a position where you have great performance coming in and you should be able to scale up budgets. And then boom, you're at 100K a month. Obviously, it's not that easy. It is hard to kind of find winning ads and shit like that. But nevertheless, that's kind of the path that I'm seeing very clear in my mind that should be able to push us to 6-figure months, assuming, the funnel is good, creatives, remain good, and we are able to keep the foot on the gas and do what we need to do. That's essentially what performance is looking like for the first store, sorry. In terms of the second store, I guess, because we low-key haven't talked about that in depth in a minute. I kind of analyzed the performance yesterday to kind of see where we are kind of lacking in. So when I'm looking at the second store, which is the health store, I was really spending lower amount of budgets, really, honestly, because I was kind of trying to dissect the first store. I kind of was just taking it slow and just letting the shit just optimize. And if you guys want to know why I was letting it optimize, again, go watch the videos that I made, like the last 5 videos or whatever. But I've been kind of dissecting the performance and I realized, okay, cool. We spent $500. We made back 500. So we're damn near break even, slightly unprofitable, whatever. But in doing that, we have like 3 interests that, have a decent amount of sales. Some creatives that have decent amount of sales that are actually profitable. So I'm like, okay, what can we do with this information? So I'm like, okay, with this information, we have the opportunity to, one, break down exactly what is working. So what I did was, and it's like, when you have low data, it's kind of hard as well to kind of make decisions. We kind of have to just infer, and just make basically just try shit out and hope for the best. But essentially what we had working out for us is we identified that the UK was the highest, the best country that's getting the most sales inside the ad account. So in identifying that, I'm like, okay, do we want to actually segment everything out into the UK? Maybe not. Do we want to, focus our spend on what's already working? Probably. So what I went ahead and did as the first test, and again, this is still low budget, this because that's kind of what the ad account is being centered around. It's around these interests. That's what's been allowing us to, again, find some decent performance. So we're just going to keep doing what's working. So we found, again, 2 interests that are doing well. And there we had like 7 creatives, and there only 1 got most of the spend, which isn't that bad because that ad that got most of the spend is actually profitable. The ad group as a whole isn't profitable, or to be honest, is break even for both of them. But the actual creative is very profitable for us. So I said, okay, let me dupe that at a higher price point with the winning interest, with the winning creatives. And I did that with 2 creatives. And then one of them is UK only. The other one wasn't UK dominant. It was like split through the 3 countries that were in there. So I said, whatever, I'll just leave them in there to see what happens. And that's the test that I did. I duped the budget from $10 a day on the ABOs, because I'm running ABOs on there, to one of them's at 30 actually, one of them's on 20. And I'm just see how performance is looking like. The acquisition cost that I saw that allowed us to get like 3 sales is literally like $18 or $17. So again, we should be able to potentially increase and get like 3 sales a day maybe across those 2 along with the other ones. And we're just looking for momentum here. We're not trying to scale shit up like this. We're just trying to, again, build the momentum into our ad account, because we're in an issue. We had an issue where the US was the main dominance of the ad account, and when we segmented it for the UK, Canada, Australia, whatever, it wasn't performing the best. So we had to go back to the interest, and that's what has been allowed us to essentially regain momentum. It's only $500 realistically. It's not a lot of money. We don't have a lot of data, but that's kind of what it was looking like for that. And honestly, in the over the weekend, I'm gonna probably reanalyze that as well. I'm probably gonna test broad again. If you get broad to crack, then I'm gonna turn all that shit off and just go back to creative testing. And that's kind of where my strong suit is. I don't really like testing interest, but when I see that interests are doing well, then I have to just go with what the ad account is telling me. But yeah, that's kind of what things are looking like right now. We are doing another deep dive today onto that store and see kind of what we can work with. Um, but yeah, that's kind of what it's just looking like for me, man. Um, yeah. I also want y'all to tell me where you guys are at with your store. I had seen a lot of y'all commenting as well. Honestly, just two of y'all, but hope y'all gonna really talk to me and tell me where you guys are at with your business. Y'all can't just be watching this shit and just watch me trying to in the trenches trying to push these shit to 6 figures a month, and y'all not telling me what type of performance you're seeing, man. So yeah, want to see that on the comment. I want to make a free Discord for y'all boys. I had a Telegram. I still have it, but I feel like the Discord would be a lot more beneficial. I can actually put resources and like videos on how to do product research in there. And I'm down to do it for free, honestly. I don't have time to run a paid Discord right now, so I would be really down to make that shit for free. Like y'all just talk in there, I can talk in there. We'll do live calls maybe once a week and shit, or whenever y'all want to do it. Or I might just hop on, make a voice chat. We can just hop on literally whenever. I got the time, or when y'all are fucking with it, y'all want to see it. Because I feel like we should be building a bigger community with this shit. Like here and there, a lot of you guys are DMing me, asking me for help. A lot of you guys are, commenting that you want help or whatever, telling me where you guys are at. We might as well just make a community and all talk amongst each other. We're all, for the most part, on a similar journey. Some of us are just starting off. Some of us are, still in terms of trying to blow up. Some of us might be doing 6 figures a month. Like, again, we can all learn from each other. I'm gonna listen from you. You might listen from me. And let me know in the comments below if you made it to this part. Do you want to see a Discord like that? Do you want to see a Discord where it's literally free? We're talking in there. I give you resources that you guys can use. Maybe it's my supplier. Maybe it's this and that. And that's kind of where that's kind of how we go about it. But if you don't want to see it, then don't comment, obviously. But I'm only really gonna do this if this is something that you guys fuck with, and I'll know if you guys comment. If you don't comment, then I will definitely won't do it. There's no point. Clearly, there's no demand. But I'm yapping now. Let's get into a rev check, and I'm gonna go on and show y'all um what it looked like yesterday. Yesterday, this is what performance looked like. Again, I told you way better. We're literally up 161%. Conversion rate's up. Oh, the conversion rate was up 174. We got way more sales. Like everything was just way better with the same amount of traffic, basically. Um, Today we are up 5% from yesterday. And again, today's got a decent start. It might be a bit slower, but I don't really mind. Like I'm looking at it on a 7-day window again. If we can get good performance on a 7-day window, we are solid. We are doing shit. Not shit, what the heck. We got no sales yesterday on the second store again. We're doing low budget shit. So you can't expect sales relatively often on there. Today we have no sales as well. But we might get some later, who knows? But again, that store is still testing. And we gotta crack that over the weekend, and this week I'm going to do or tomorrow. Today, what the fuck? I'm gonna do a deep dive and really see what we can really improve on that store. But yeah, that's kind of what things are looking like for your boy. Uh, yeah, man. That's gonna be it for this video. Again, I appreciate you guys for watching this video. I hope you guys are taking action when you see me making these videos. I'm literally showing you guys the raw of what it looks like to actually, look to try to build this shit into, a brand new dropshipping store. I'm really showing you guys in the trenches what I can, what I'm actively doing. I hope you guys take action, start your store, test shit out and just try, bro. Just try. Because I know for a fact, again, a lot of people DM me, ask me questions about, yo, what if, and I'm not trying to like shame anybody, I'm just giving you guys examples. asking me, yo, what if I get a hold? What if this and that? What if I get my ad account banned? But prior to that, they're telling me they've never started their store. Why are you worrying about problems that haven't occurred yet? The biggest thing that I think that's stopping a lot of you guys from starting is like, what is it called? Analyzing paralysis, whatever. I don't know the name. I don't remember the name, but paralysis analysis. I don't know what it's called, but basically, you basically overanalyze everything, and that kind of what that prevents you from stopping and taking action on your dreams. That also is something that happens to me sometimes. Sometimes I might overanalyze things and I don't take actions. Like Nike says, bro, no corny shit, just do it. Just take a chance. For the most part, a lot of you guys that are texting me or probably watching this shit are relatively young, and you have time to take risks, bro. As long as you're not putting yourself in the whole going negative to do this shit, and even if, especially if you're living with your parents, bro, if you gotta spend every dollar with this shit to make this stuff work, fuck it, bro. Just do it. Just take the chance, bro. Do this shit for at least 1 to 2 years. If you really can't make it work, you see no improvement, just quit. Fine, don't just quit, I guess. But if you really want to quit, just quit. I'm not telling you to quit, obviously, at that point. But if you really want to quit, give yourself 2 years, really lock in, actually try. And I promise you, you'll surprise yourself, bro. You'll see success. And you might be up and downs because that's what business is like. But I promise you, you'll see success and you'll probably be hooked to the journey. It won't want to stop. That's kind of what it's all about, bro. You're just going to have to take that leap of faith. Make sure you got that job, bro. Make sure you're taking action. And I promise you, bro, just invest a small percentage of your paycheck if you don't want to spend all of it. Just keep working, bro. Keep working on your craft. Keep working on your journey, bro. That's the biggest thing, man. Um, and yeah, that's kind of again what I got for this video. I'm about to go to the gym, get a pump in, and after going to get back in the trenches, more creative work. And another thing I want to also touch on that I forgot to mention, above what I'm doing to kind of expedite, I guess, my results. And I'm not telling you guys to do this, but because again, the nature of my product is jewelry, it's not a problem-solving product. It's relatively easy to come up with concepts because most of these videos are like 10 seconds long. And even if it takes me 30 minutes to come up with a concept, like let's say it takes that long, I still have again a lot of time in the day to come up with like 5 concepts a day. That's kind of my goal every single day, to come up with 5 concepts a day. Some iterations, I like to do 20% iterations for the most part, 80% new ads. And that's kind of how I go about it. And this week we are at 15 concepts, so clap it up. From last week, we were doing 5. I said, whatever, let me go back to what was working. Putting this on a clap. We'll do 15, but yeah, for a while ago, we used to drop like 10, 15 concepts a day, and that's kind of what helped expedite our process. Although some of these were a lot of iterations, which kind of were diminishing returns. This time, I'm focusing on splitting it out properly, and we should see great success that way, just with a bunch of volume, because we can do volume with this nature product. If I was selling a health related product, volume is relatively hard to do that with like VSLs, because yes, you have to take time and write it properly, make sure you proofread it and make sure that shit is solid. But with this type of content, again, it's very easy to make. It just requires you to just think about it, use competitors, use your own ads for inspiration, and just do what you gotta do. So again, that's a massive unlock, high intent, high volume, and I think it's gonna reward us. That's what helped us every time we've ever. And again, sometimes I'm going on another side tangent. My bad, guys. You want to dip, but sometimes, for me, what happens to me sometimes I'll have a winning system, something that I know that works for me. And I think one of my like, I don't know what I want to say, my skills or what. It's not a skill. I don't like I want to call it, but my advantages, I guess, is for especially that store, I can pump out a lot of content, especially with this editor now. I can pump out like 20 concepts a day, right? I could. And right now we're sticking to like 5 a day, which will allow us to do like 20, 25 concepts a week, okay? And I know for a fact a couple of those will hit. So if I know a couple of those will hit, just because, I have a bunch of data to kind of look off and base it off, blah, blah, then I know I have an advantage to just consistently, hopefully, crack that big winner. Rather than doing 5, I have 5 chances, but now I have 25 chances or 30 chances a week to kind of get performance, to do well. So that's kind of my advantage that I'm using to scale up. That's what I see that worked in the past to allow us to scale up to that 89K a month. That's what we did in Q4 to allow us to do $200,000. So that's what we're going to do now. Go back to what we know that works. I don't know why I stopped doing that, but we're going to go back to what we know works to do it now, and we have an editor. So I think the issue actually was because I felt burnt out, but that's for another topic. And yeah, let's fucking get it. Big W's in the fucking comment section below. We are going to make this 100K a month. We are going to make this shit shake. We are gonna fucking do it. And yeah, it's only a matter of time, boys. Again, catch y'all in the next video. Appreciate you. And see y'all. And link in the description if y'all want to talk to me. DM me, ask me any questions. And yeah, catch y'all in the next video. Peace. Real.